Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, it's your girl Umpumi Umdona Simelane, your night shift girly, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to all my subscribers and all my day ones, and welcome to anybody that is new on my channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and engage with my channel, please, if you do like my content, of course. So as you can see, today I'm doing a sit down for you guys, and today I'm going to be tackling things that I learned in my 20s. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I recently turned 30. That was just now in the previous December that I turned 30. So yeah, I'm now in my 30s. I'm the 30 girl. But anyway, I just wanted to go through a list of things that I learned in my 20s now that I am in my 30s and looking forward to whatever my 30s have in store for me. Please do excuse my voice, it might disappear there and there. I do have a cold, but I'm getting better now. I had my son's birthday weekend, and unfortunately, we were driving with the aircon on. I don't know why. So yeah, I just got the flu after that. So please do excuse my voice. But anyway, let's get started into the sit down now. The first thing that I would say I learned about my 20s rather is it's okay to not know what you want to do. Basically, your 20s are about you discovering yourself, because as we're growing up and as we're going to school, we're all like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a policeman, but we don't really know or understand what that exactly um, means or requires. Yes, there's people who are like, no, I want to sing, and then naturally, because they've got the talent, they do end up doing that. But for some people, if you can check or even look at yourself, um, in your growing up stages, you changed your career so many times. You went from being a teacher in primary school to being the school principal to being the netball coach. In high school, you suddenly became a scientist, and then you were a doctor. And, so that in its own creates a confusion that once you are done with school, now you are stuck with the dilemma of what is it that I exactly really want to do with my life. And for me, I would say it took some time. I feel like even now, I'm still at the point where I'm still trying to figure out exactly what my purpose is, or what is it that I actually naturally gravitate to, because being a teacher should not just be about the career of or the title of being a teacher. You have to be a teacher because you love teaching, because you love children, because you love to educate and inspire and play with the kids and fill them with knowledge. It needs to exude naturally, if I can put it that way, because there's a lot of people who are in careers that are in the job just to make means end, or just for the finances. But it's not really a passion of theirs, or it's not something they actually wanted to be or wanted to do. So that's another thing about um, your career and you wanting to know what you want to do, is that you also need to put in mind that at the end of the day, life will take its own course. At the end of the day, they always say you plan and God laughs, because you might be planning on being a doctor, where else God has different plans of you traveling or something. So that's also something that you need to take into consideration, that at the end of the day, life will do as life is supposed to do. So don't stress too much about your career and what you want to do, especially in the times that we live in, where You go to school, you spend that 3 years, you get that degree, and then you're stuck with that degree and not even using that degree, because of the circumstances that we live under. So, if there's one thing I would say I learned in my 20s when it comes to my career or knowing what I wanted to do, um, in terms of my career, is that it's okay to not know what you want to do. Life will just take its own course, and God will just play his own game. So the important thing is to, at the end of the day, find something that does keep you busy, that you do love and enjoy doing, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. So, yeah. Next thing that I learned in my 20s was it's okay to have fun. I'm an introvert. I'm an introverted person. I hardly ever go out. Even if I do go out, I'm hardly with like friends and all of that. I actually don't even have friends. I had friends back in like my early 20s and stuff like that. And that was okay, because that was the time for me to have friends and go out, have fun, meet new people, explore, and all of that. That was okay. It's okay to have fun. So, I've always been an introvert. I feel like I'm always going to be an introvert. I'll actually die an introvert. Um, but it's okay to let loose sometimes. You don't always have to be driving yourself crazy about, oh my gosh, I need to study. Oh my gosh, I need to do one, two, three. Oh my gosh, I've got work tomorrow. It's okay to dress up, look pretty, go out, have fun, enjoy yourself. That is what your 20s are about. It's about you enjoying yourself, because trust me, when those responsibilities hit you and they start piling up, now you gotta pay for a place to stay, you gotta pay for your car, you gotta pay for insurance. Now all of a sudden you have a child, now you're married, now you have in-laws to deal with. The responsibilities will pile up. So while you still have the time and the chance to have fun, do yourself a favor and have fun. I did that in my early 20s, even though I'm not really a person that likes going out to parties and all of that. I'm 30 years old and I've never been to a club, and I don't think I'll ever go to a club because I'm just not that kind of person. But I don't have a problem with going to like a little lounge or someone's party or braai, just to chill and eat and mingle with everybody else, dance, listen to some music, have fun, let loose. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm naturally just not a party animal. I'm not a party person. I'm not the type of person every weekend we've got plans, we are going somewhere. I'm not that kind of person. But in your 20s, it is definitely advisable for you to have fun, because there's going to come a point, especially in your late 20s, when the responsibilities start piling up and your life starts changing, and you're going to miss those days when you had less responsibilities. So, yeah. The next thing that I learned in my 20s or about my 20s is the importance of education. Education, education, education. Very, very important. Do not miss that opportunity. Do whatever it takes for you to get yourself educated. Whether it's a higher certificate, whether it is a 1 year course, whether it's a diploma, a degree, whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is for you to be able to do the work. But for you to be able to do the work, you need the knowledge behind the work. So get yourself educated, have a paper, have a paper, because once you get into the corporate industry or you start working and all of that, then when you get there, you see, Guti, there's levels. There's levels. Then you feel like, oh my gosh, I've been wasting my time. So one thing you must not do in your 20s, definitely do not waste your time when it comes to education. Yes, we're not all privileged. Like me, I'm a less privileged person, if I can put it that way. My parents couldn't really afford to take me to higher education and all of that. I had to like go for things like bursaries and all of that. But at the end of the day, I've got something. I've got my diploma in my public management. At least when everybody else is tossing around their education, I also got an education to toss around, you know. So, one thing or one mistake you must not make in your 20s is not getting that qualification. Get that qualification. It doesn't matter what the qualification is for or what it's about, as long as you understand it and you'll be able to use it. Get that qualification, because in most cases there's so many people with qualifications who are working jobs that have nothing to do with their qualifications. But the plus side is for you to just have that qualification. So the next thing that I learned about my 20s, get a driver's license. Get you yourself a driver's license. Get a driver's license. It is so important for you to have a driver's license. I got my driver's license when I was 18 years old because, okay, I went to like I would say more of a, how do I put this? Um, I would say it's a multiracial school, but it was like more white than black, so more Afrikaans than English, that type of environment. So I went to that kind of school, you know. And the thing with white kids that I loved about them and that inspired me about them is that they all had this tendency of, when they got to matric, next thing everybody's showing it up in a BMW or VW, whatever, whatever. People are driving around in their scooters and all of that. And I was like, I want that for myself. You know, how is it that when they get to matric, they got all these cars now, all of a sudden, and driver's license and scooter? I want that life for myself, you know. And so the disadvantage with me is that I'm born in December. So anything of mine is always late because I'm born in December. So I only turned 18 in December. But immediately after I finished school, I was like, I am getting my driver's license. I want my driver's license. I'm getting my driver's license. I want to be like those kids driving around in their cars. So, one thing you must do definitely in your 20s, get you your driver's license. It comes in handy even when you want to apply for jobs. Most jobs now require for you to have a driver's license. So, it is an advantage for you. And learn how to drive. Don't just have the driver's license for the sake of saying you have a driver's license. Learn how to do gear one, forward, accelerate, let's go. Learn how to drive. It'll come in handy one day, trust me. The next thing that I learned in my 20s is your finances. Very, very important. Your finances. You will stumble. Trust me, you will stumble and you will fall in your 20s when it comes to your finances, because you're still young, you know. And when you're young, when you got money, all you think about is buying something, you know. But your 20s will teach you that money is not a toy. So get your finances right, do your budgeting, don't take too much credit and have debt and all of that. Yes, it's good for your credit score when you're still building your credit score. Build your credit score. It is very, very important for you to have a good credit score. I've got a good credit score that's over 600 now. I'm very happy with my credit score. It's taken years for me to build up my credit score to that far. Build your credit score, you know. But don't take too much debt for yourself. Debt will kill you. Leave the clothing accounts. If you want clothes, save money and go buy your clothes. You know, there is certain things that, yes, you can buy on credit, for example, a car or whatever the case may be, to also help with your credit score. But personally, for me, I've always felt like, why do I need a clothing account? Because if I want a t-shirt, it's 50 rand. Why don't I just take 50 rand and buy myself clothes? You know, so as time went by, I just realized it was just pointless for me to have stuff like clothing accounts and all of that, you know. And so I do not advise for clothing accounts, cell phone contracts, all of that. I did it, and honestly, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. So yeah, one thing you will learn in your 20s is definitely your finances. They are going to slap you around. You will find yourself in debt that you don't even know how you got into that debt, why you got into that debt, what happened to that money. But you're going to find yourself in such things in your 20s. But the important thing is for you to have a level headed mind and learn to budget, learn to buy things cash. Don't live a life you know you can't afford. If you know you can't afford it, either save for it or leave it alone. But try your best to not live on credit. Yes, some credit is good for you, but most credit is bad for you. And it's less stress when you don't have debts. You don't have anybody calling you, you don't have any debit orders that you're reversing or running away from. Try to have less debt in your 20s. Trust me, it is stress free. As I'm sitting here right now, I have no debt and my credit score is above 600. So I worked hard to get there, yes, but I'm enjoying the life that I live now. If I want a shoe, I go to the shop and I buy a shoe, and that's just it. So your finances, very important. They are gonna bully you around, but just learn to work around it and don't live above your means. That will help you. Don't live above your means. It doesn't matter whether your friend is driving a BMW or your friend now has an apartment. If you're not there yet at that stage in your life, leave it. Don't force the situation. Things will come to you naturally and gradually. At the end of the day, we're all gonna go through it. We're all gonna have a car. We're all gonna buy a house, hopefully. We're all gonna get married and have children. It just goes in different stages. And if it's meant for you, it'll come to you. The next thing that I learned in my 20s is dating. In your 20s, I feel like personally, just date for the sake of dating. If someone is meant for you, then they will stay in your life. But date for the sake of dating and date anyone, you know. Do not stick to a particular type of person because I feel like with me, that's what I did mostly. And I feel like when it comes to relationships and all of that, that might have been my downfall because I dated a certain type. I had a certain type. And to be honest with you, I didn't even really have a certain type, but I think it's just my energy that just gravitated to the same type of people. Because all my life I've always dated a Taurus. I don't know why. And I'm a Capricorn. So, and I would never ask, I'm not the type of person that will be like, what star sign are you? I just feel like it's weird. But every time I would date a person, like literally weeks into dating that person, I would then find out, oh my gosh, your birthday is on this date, which means you're a Taurus. I have no idea why I'm attracted to those people. It just naturally happens that I find myself in a relationship with those people. And honestly, if there's one thing I would love to change, is that part because all of them have screwed me up. So don't have a type. That is one thing I will tell you about dating. Do not stick to a certain type of person and say, oh no, I like my men dark and handsome. No, try all sorts and kinds of men, women, whatever that you want to date. It's part of learning yourself, exploring, and you know, you just trying to figure yourself out and what you like and the type of people that you like to have around you, the type of people whose company and conversations that you enjoy. So don't stick to the same type of person that is in your mind that you think you like, which might actually not even be a good fit for you. So, yeah, have fun when it comes to dating. Go out, go on dates, um, meet new people. Just don't take it too seriously. Whoever's meant for you will be for you. But I'm telling you, that heartbreak will hit you in your 20s. You will feel like your head are your feet and your feet are your head. I am telling you, it changes a lot. about you. There will always be that one heartbreak in your life that will change everything about how you see life, but it's just part of growth. The next thing that I learned in my 20s is that it is okay to spend time by yourself. Personally, like I said, I'm an introvert, so I enjoy my own company. I enjoy sitting in my own company and basking in my own company. You know, I have no problem being about myself, by myself, watching my TV, having my snacks. Of course, now it's difficult because I have a child that follows me everywhere, but spend time with yourself. Your 20s are about you getting to know yourself. How are you going to know yourself if you're always around a crowd of people, if you're always around somebody, if you're always having a conversation with somebody? Have a conversation with yourself. You know, I used to do that. I still do that. Have a conversation with yourself. It actually helps. It's more of like thinking out loud. And then you get a bit of a idea of what decision you actually want to make. So spend time with yourself. Don't always want to be around people or crowds or go out and all of that. It's okay to just be at home. By yourself, have your snacks, chill, watch a movie, and enjoy your own company. If you can't enjoy your own company, or if you can't enjoy yourself, how do you expect other people to enjoy your company? Because charity begins at home, it starts with you. So enjoy being by yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you learn who you are and how you handle certain situations. Go out by yourself, get stuck in traffic, like you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. So enjoy being by yourself, get to know yourself, get to know who you are. That way you're a better person for the next person. And then another thing that I learned in my 20s is you will lose a lot of friends, and don't be afraid to lose friends. Like they say, if you're not losing friends, then you're not growing up. So don't be afraid to lose friends. It's okay that your friends that you went to high school with and maybe varsity with, that you've lost contact with them. We're people. We grow. That's the whole point. And when you grow out of certain things and you grow out of certain people. You know, the person that I was today or I am today cannot be the person that I am tomorrow. You know, and just because I liked strawberry ice cream yesterday doesn't mean 10 years later I must still like strawberry ice cream. What if I like vanilla ice cream now? So you are going to lose a lot of friends in your 20s, because we're all still trying to figure ourselves out. Some people are going to move to a new town, some people are going to get married before you or have children before you. Immediately that happens, their lives have changed, their responsibilities have changed. They don't have time to hang out with you all the time. And slowly but surely you'll find yourself drifting away from certain people because life takes its course. And life is supposed to take its course, and you need to be okay with that. So don't be afraid to lose friends. If you're losing friends, it means you're growing up. It means something about you or something within you is changing, and you need to embrace and welcome that change. Because chances are that friend was probably slowing you down in any case. Because especially in your 20s, we're all young, we just want to go out, have fun, and all of that. And you find these people that just enjoy having fun, and forget about career, forget about education, forget about having a plan, or forget about having a goal. They just want to have fun. So those types of people are the people that you will eventually grow out of, or you will eventually lose as friends because you're growing up, and it's okay. So don't be afraid to lose friends. You're going to lose a lot of friends, make new friends, lose those ones again. You're going to find a job, meet new people, make new friends at that job, leave that job, and you leave the friends behind. You go to another job. Now you've got new friends. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're growing up and you're embracing the change. And then another thing that I learned in my 20s is independence. Learn to be independent. One thing about your 20s, they will leave you stranded. They will leave you going to find yourself in situations where you either need to swim or sink, and you need to decide if you want to swim or sink. So learn to be independent. It's usually advisable for you to move out of your home, find your own place, learn to be responsible for yourself, learn to buy your own groceries, uh, buy your own car, learn to drive off by yourself. And one thing I will tell you, there is nothing that secures your independence like having your own car and being able to drive yourself places. Not dependent on a taxi, not dependent on your brother coming to fetch you or your father coming to fetch you. You just getting into that car and driving off into the sunset. Be independent. Your 20s will definitely teach you a lot about independence and you depending on yourself and you learning to think on your own feet and find your own solutions to your problems, making your own decisions, not waiting for somebody to hold your hand or advise you or whatever. Some situations are like, we need a solution now. You can't call your mama, you can't call your daddy. We need a solution now. So your 20s will definitely teach you a lot about being independent and just enjoying your own independence and liberty and freedom. So your 20s will definitely teach you a lot about that. And then one thing that I also learned about my 20s in terms of marriage and children and family and all of that is that divine timing. That is the perfect word for it. Divine timing. Only God knows when you're going to get married. Only God knows when you're going to have children. And for some people, it happens earlier, and for some people, it takes forever. You find people you went to high school with, 22, 23 years old, they married with 3 kids, and you're like, 23? Married? 3 kids? How? When did that happen? You know? And then you look at yourself and you're like, I'm 29, not married, no kids. What is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. That's just life. When it comes to things like that, let God handle that. Yes, most people, I'm not one of those people, but most people would love to see themselves married with a family and all of that. I like being single. I like being independent. I like being my own person. I don't really see myself married anytime from now. Maybe when I'm 70 years old. But right now, I don't advocate for marriage for my own personal reasons. I don't see the use. Like, why? Why are we getting married? Why am I living with this person for 30 years, 40 years? It was hard enough living with my parents for 20 years. Now I must go live with someone else for 30 years. No. So, but for people that believe that that is part of their journey or their destiny or all of that, one thing I would tell you is that it happens in phases and stages, and it will happen if it's meant to happen. Don't be getting yourself now in tricky situations, in an unhappy marriage, just because you want to be married for the sake of being married, because you're in your 20s and you're told you're supposed to be married. No, I'm 30 years old. I'm not married. I'm not going to be married for a very long time. I'm probably going to die not married, and I'm okay with that. The only thing I'm grateful for is, of course, I have my son you know, um, which was also unplanned. Children are a gift from God. Only God knows when He's going to give you a child or place you with uh, children. My child is definitely a blessing. He's my best friend. I don't regret having my child ever, because I feel like me having a child changed a lot in me. You know, if I had not had my child, I would probably still be that naive girl that just thinks of Mr. Price and McDonald's and all of that, and not actually have a purpose or a sense of direction of where my life is going. So I feel like me having my child um, brought a different perspective into my life. It made me grow up because I didn't realize that I was actually not growing up. I was just doing the same thing over and over and over again, buying clothes, eating food, without an actual sense of purpose or something to live for. You understand? So I feel like my son coming into my life gave me a sense of living. I needed him in my life for me to be like, no, man, I'm a mother now. I need to do one, two, three, four, five, six. Why am I not doing it? So for me, having a child brought that perspective into my life. For you, it might be different, because as people, we don't understand things the same way. We don't like things the same way. We don't wish for things the same way. But for me, I would say having a child, I grew. I really, really grew, and I learned to love, because one thing about your 20's, you won't really understand what love is. It'll take time for you to truly understand. And that's one of the things that we learn actually in our 20's, what love truly is. I never understood what love was. Yes, I love my mother, I love my father, I love my boyfriend, but I never actually truly understood what love is, until I had my child. Then I was like, oh my gosh, what is this feeling inside of me? So this is what they call love. I love that child to bits. So when it comes to things like marriage and children and all of that, don't feel envious, don't feel pressured, you know. Enjoy your 20's. Those things come with a lot of responsibilities. My life now has changed. Now I must think of daycare and memorize clinic dates and all of that. It comes with a lot of responsibility. You're not as flexible as um you normally would be. Now you've got someone that follows you to the bathroom and the tap and the washing line and the garage and wants to go everywhere with you and be everything with you, and mama mama juice, mama bread, mama this the whole time. Um they get sick. When they're sick, you're also sick. You understand? So don't pressure yourself too much. Don't see other people doing it and feel like you also need to do it when you're not ready for it. I'm not ready for marriage. I will never be ready for marriage. Hence, I'm not even thinking about marriage, because I know for me it's going to come with a certain level of responsibility that I'm just not ready for. And I don't think I'll ever be ready for. I wasn't ready to have my child, but I had to go with the flow, you know, and it came with a lot of responsibility. Hence, I'm saying when it comes to things like marriage and all of that, I'm not ready with the responsibility that's going to come with that and the in laws and all of that. No, I'm not ready for that, So don't feel pressured by seeing other people doing it, people wearing their rings, posting couple goals, and all of that. Normally, it's not all rosy and shiny. Trust me. My parents are married over 30 years. My sister's married for almost 10 years now. It's not always rosy and shiny. So, there's not really anything to feel pressured about. So, if you want a ring, go to the shop. There's rings there for 200 Rand. Buy yourself a nice ring. Buy buy yourself flowers. I can buy myself flowers. Buy yourself flowers. Buy yourself that ring. you know so don't feel the pressure of the 20's. Will pressure you, and people will keep asking you, when are you getting married, when are you having children? Do not feel the pressure. It is not worth it. It just brings on a lot of responsibility and a lot of changes in your life, and if you're not ready for those types of changes, you will definitely crash. And last but not least, as I come to the end of my sit down with you guys, is one thing I learned in my 20's that is very important, that I will carry with me even till my death, is the importance of your spirituality, the importance of your faith, the importance of prayer. There is certain situations when I went to sleep and did not even sleep, and I woke up in the morning and I was like, Lord, help me get through this. And trust and believe at the end of the day, when I came back home, the Lord had dealt with it. So your faith is very important. Your spirituality is very important. And don't allow people to influence what you believe in or what you feel is good for you. You know, pray when you feel you need to pray and speak to God. Have a relationship with God. You know, He knows who you are, He knows where you are. You don't even have to say much. Just say, "Oh Lord, I need you today," and trust and believe the Lord will be there for you. I have survived so many situations I didn't even think I would have survived if I did not say, "Lord, please help me." There's so many nights I went to sleep and I was like, I wish the sun does not rise. But trust and believe the sun does rise. And when that sun rose, I was like, Lord, when the sun sets, please make sure all is well. And trust and believe when that sun sets and I go to bed again and close my eyes, the Lord has made everything well. Pray. You don't have to pray out loud. You don't have to pray 10 times a day. You know what you want to pray for, and God knows your prayer before you even pray. So pray and have that relation. I can walk out of the house right now and say, Lord, I do not know where I'm going. Lead me, please. And I will find that place. I don't know how. So pray when you're going to the shop. Pray when you're just walking outside for a walk. Pray for anything and everything. Prayer will show you miracles. I'm a single mother, and the only way I'm surviving as a single mother is through prayer. Because Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. Lord, what am I going to do with this child? Lord, why would you trust me with the soul? Lord, this child needs food. And the Lord is like, my child, I hear you. Here's the food. Here's the job. Here's the clothes. Here's someone to babysit your child. Here's the daycare. The Lord will show up for you. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. The Lord, even when you're walking in darkness, I would go out partying. And on my way home, I would be like, Lord, it is night. It is dark. Get me home. And trust and believe I would find myself in my bed at home. So prayer is very important. Your faith is very important. And don't just pray for the sake. When I pray, I'm like, God is with me now. God can hear me. Lord, let's go. I don't know where I'm going. Lead, let's go. He is there. He exists. He listens. He hears you. He hears you even when you haven't even said anything and is like, I'm here for you. So prayer will get you through anything and everything. You will survive your 20s through prayer as much as you will survive your 30s or your 40s or your 50s or whatever with prayer. So your spirituality, have something that you believe in. Don't just go around believing anything and everything that everybody says. No. Find what works for you. Find what you are comfortable with. And have faith that things will be okay. God will make things okay. We live in a very dramatic world and dramatic times. And honestly, the only way you are going to survive in anything is for you to pray and have faith. And with that, I close off my story time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for all your support. God bless you guys, and I will see you next time.